Hey everybody, it's Dr. Sam Robbins. Now today I want to talk about not eating protein so you can actually build more muscle or preserve muscle while also losing body fat. And this very important topic obviously affects anyone who's trying to build muscle, whether you're a man or woman, but it also affects older people, 50 and over, who want to preserve muscle size as they age or maybe even gain muscle, which ironically is a major cause of aging and death: muscle loss. In fact, this is why they give AIDS patients lots of steroids and testosterone to help them bulk up in muscle, so when or if they do get sick due to an infection or illness and quickly lose a ton of muscle, there is that safety net, because without that extra steroid muscle growth and weight, they would lose too much muscle and then they would die. And there are also lots of anti-aging benefits to this, while I'll reveal those in a couple minutes. Anyway, with that said, let's get down to business. Growing up in the 80s and 90s, I wanted to build more muscle, and all I heard was eat more protein. Now, the first reason for this is because all these muscle magazines were basically selling you protein powders. However, that aside, the reason for the increase in protein consumption is because when you increase protein intake, there is an increase in protein synthesis, leading to higher nitrogen retention, which will ultimately lead to more muscle and less body fat. Of course, I'm simplifying the whole process, but you get the point. So that's what I did, right? I just ate more and more protein. And at one point, at a body weight of 200 pounds, I was eating 600 grams of protein. That's 3 times my body weight. And a lot of that was just protein supplements and powders and shakes, since I just couldn't chew that much real food. And it was actually a very disgusting type of diet. I felt bloated and slow, and I could tell that my body was under extreme stress due to the constant fatigue I had. I also had a lot of, more joint pain, and my sleep was just horrible. And the end result was no extra muscle after 3 months of torture. However, blood tests showed that my liver and kidneys were both under a lot of stress, and I had other hormonal problems. So my first point here is that you do not need that much protein. Just keep in mind something very important. The time that you're growing the most in your life is when you're a baby, right? And mother's milk is only 5% protein. That's very important. Only 5% protein. It's made mainly of carbohydrates, in fact, specifically sugars and fats. In fact, I'd say that the most protein you'd ever need is about 1 gram per pound of body weight. So in my case, let's say I'm weighing 200 pounds, I would need 200 grams, all right? Sometimes I actually eat much less these days, and you can see in my pictures, I have not lost any muscle or gone fatter over the years by eating less protein. I still weigh around 200 pounds, and I actually have more muscle now than I did when I was eating more protein, and I'll tell you why and how in a minute. However, some people will argue that you need more protein, but trust me, you do not. Listen, if you're working out really hard, 2 to 3 hours daily, right? Taking lots of steroids, and are in your 20s when you can actually absorb more protein correctly, then you can do maximum of 1.5 grams, all right? That's the maximum. And thus, if 200 pounds, you can eat about 300 grams of protein. However, 99% of us are not in this small minority. Now, there's lots of problems with eating so much protein, but the one main topic I want to discuss today, the main reason for this video, is that the more protein you eat, the faster your body oxidizes it and thus breaks it down faster. So the experts will say, hey, more protein increases protein synthesis. And yes, it does, but for only about 48 to 72 hours, all right, before your body adapts, and then it increases protein oxidation, which means it breaks it down faster, and thus protein synthesis decreases. Hence, the opposite happens. You actually start to lose muscle. Your body is too smart, all right? It will adapt every single time. So then people, what do next? They increase protein even more, and then your body breaks it down even faster, right? It's a vicious cycle. So what's the solution? All right, pay attention. You need to protein cycle by actually having 1 day a week with no protein. You can call it protein fasting. And trust me, you are not going to lose muscle. In fact, you'll gain muscle if you do it correctly. So how do you protein cycle and not eat any protein for 24 hours and actually increase muscle and burn more fat and most importantly, improve your hormones? Well, let me tell you how I and my professional athletes do it. Basically, Sundays, I eat no protein. Now, you can pick one day out of any week, but I simply like Sundays to do it. Now, Monday, my body is now super sensitive to protein since it's gone without for 24 hours. So Monday and Tuesday, I have 150 grams of protein. So that's 0.75 of 200 pounds of body weight. If you want to do the math, it's basically your weight, in my case, is 200 pounds times 0.75 equals 150 grams. All right. Then Wednesday and Thursday, the next 2 days, I increase it by 25% to 200 grams. Again, basically 200 pounds times 1 equals 200 grams of protein, or 1 gram per pound. Finally, Friday and Saturday, I again increase it by another 25% since my body has adapted again. And this time I take in 250 grams. That's 200, if I'm weighing 200 pounds times 1.25 equals 250 grams. Every time my body adapted in about 48 hours, I again increased it to continue the additional protein synthesis. All right. Then as my body adapts again, Sunday I trick it and do no protein, a protein fast. And again, you're not going to lose muscle, so don't freak out. Just trust me and do it. Listen, at the end, your body will average around 1 gram per pound of body weight. So what are the benefits? All right. First of all, your body continually increases protein synthesis every 48 hours, which leads to more muscle. Number 2, this prevents your body from adapting and increasing protein oxidation, which you don't want because that can lead to muscle loss. And third, and most importantly, all of this works because it helps optimize your hormones by lowering cortisol and other stress hormones, and by increasing muscle building hormones such as testosterone, IGF, growth hormone, insulin, thyroid, so on and so forth. Of course, this protein fasting also has many health benefits such as reduction in inflammation, which means, again, more muscle, less joint pain, and faster fat loss. This also improves digestion and improves cellular repair for your pancreas, liver, kidneys, and so forth, and other organs. And it also increases mitochondrial function and increases energy levels. All fantastic. Again, I can go on, but I hope you get the point. So now that you have the formula, you need to go and implement it. As far as results, it'll take a few months for you to actually see the results because muscle building takes time, all right? Of course, some of the health benefits for improved digestion, reduction of inflammation, more energy, and so forth are felt much sooner, all right?